What's up fam, Boy G here, back in another video. Today we're going to unbox and review a PC controller, right, gamepad that I purchased here from Lazada. This is the GameSir Cyclone 2. I'm currently using an 8BitDo controller, so I'm gonna definitely be able to compare that to my 8BitDo Ultimate, as well as my dusty King Kong Pro 2 here, or King Kong 2 from Gulikit that I also have, which obviously I'm not using so much, keeps on disconnecting. But let's check the back real quick here. So GameSir High Precision TMR Linear Output Ultra Long Lifespan. So it looks like this is not Hall sensor anymore. It's actually a TMR sticks that's supposedly better. Tactile buttons, crisp yet cushioned, and micro switches, Hall effect, toggleable trigger. So these are the ones that are Hall effects. We'll definitely, of course, check that out. Anti-slip laser textured grip. On the 8BitDo, I don't have any input for audio or output for audio, but in this one you do have 3.5 headphone jack, 2.4 dongle or low latency connection, so that is your wireless dongle, 2 macro back button, so it's not for, you know, like others, but 2 will be enough. Motion control for immersive gameplay, which is also an advantageous because that is like 6-axis already. Bluetooth 2.4 and wired, so of course this is also Bluetooth capable, but also 2.4 gigahertz and also wired. You know, that's amazing. Quick software interchanges, so you can swap the buttons there. High precision TMR sticks, so that's what I'm talking about. Micro switches, Hall effect, toggleable triggers, turbo macro function, and GameSir Connect, available at Microsoft Store. Let me go ahead and open it up right now. I'm super excited to check it out. I've ordered the one that has a dock with it, so let's see if that actually is amazing. So it's still sealed. Let me go ahead and unseal that. By the way, if you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing to the channel. I unbox a lot of gadgets that I purchased. I love gadgets so much. As you can see, I'm a PC gamer and PS, console player as well. Console gamer. So I think I've unboxed and reviewed around 160 device out there. So might help you in your purchase decision if you're into market looking for something. So consider subscribing, and yeah, it might help you in your purchase decision. Thanks so much. We do have the wireless USB here that is weirdly separated and it's not inserted in any way. Looks cool. Pairing button that I see there. So there's a pairing button. I love that GameSir keeps on improving their their business, right? I had a GameSir Bluetooth gamepad that I had before, probably 2-3 years ago. It's it's good, but it's kind of like cheaper before. But this one looks like they're upping their game, right? They keep on producing quality products, quality. Look at this, right? Oh, they even have this sticker. Oh, amazing. Wow, love that. Very thick manual. Everything is in there. So once you buy this, you're gonna be covered, right? You have your full manual and stuff. Now, of course, you have your USB cable here, Type C to Type A. Awesome. And the stand. The stand is rather interesting, right? Although the stand is metal here on the bottom. I find it a little bit weird though. I prefer the plastic stand of 8BitDo Ultimate. This is the 8BitDo, and the wireless USB, or the dongle rather, is actually sitting inside. Kind of big though, right? Compared to the GameSir, super small. So it's super big here, a little bit bulky, but no worries because it can actually be hidden, tucked in inside of that. And it looks cool, right? It's also glowing some RGB there, or actually not RGB, just orange light and white light, which is pretty cool. That's for GameSir, or sorry, for 8-bit Ultimate. But this one looks very gamey, right? Doesn't look like a stand, although it's very light, right? And USB can just be like inserted here, right? Pretty cool. And then you can put the USB Type C on the back, plug it in your PC. That should be good. Let's check the actual controller, see if it will be looking good on that one. Ooh, I love the look, although it's kind of light, right? Sticks are protected. Amazing. Interesting. It's kind of light. So let me just pull up my controllers here a bit. So I do have an Xbox Series X controller as well, and as you can see, the similarity is uncanny there, right? That is my Xbox controller, and then this is my 8BitDo Ultimate controller, like I said. And on the top left is my Gulikit King Kong Pro 2. The GameSir looks amazing because of the pattern, right? Looks obviously the most gamey, right? Gamey centric gadget here, and it's kind of like the latest, right? However, I think it's the lightest, guys. I don't know if I like that actually. I love heavy equipment for some reason, although I understand on the long run, when you're playing it for a longer amount of hours, you will appreciate actually that, you know, the light of this, the lightness of this, although it's substantially lighter than an actual Xbox Series X controller. So if you grab one of this, you know it's original, you know it's Xbox, and it's very robust, very premium feeling. The GameSir is like extremely light. You will think right away that this is like an imitation of something, right? Like a China-made imitation of something. Although of course, performance-wise, it should be good, but it's just like almost like it's very light, right? This is kind of like, I don't know, 30 grams lighter than this, but nah, it's very light. Even the 8BitDo is actually heavier than this. They're almost the same. This is probably heavier about 5 or 7 grams than this one, but the Gulikit King Kong Pro is substantially heavier than this one. So this is like the heaviest, right? Most premium feeling, followed by the King Kong 2, right? And then by this one for feeling, right, weight. And this one actually comes last for the heft, right, of the premium feeling. However, for the actual controller, let me set this aside. All of them, right, include you know, just the Gulikit, and they look like Xbox controller. So you would notice on Ultimate, the joystick's a little bit further, right, and then it's a little bit cramped here. So typically it's gonna give you like cramps, right? Gulikit King Kong Pro 2 feels like an Xbox controller with even looking like Xbox here as well, right? It's obvious copy of Xbox again. You know what? Whenever I grab the Xbox, I just really feel premium because it's very weighty, right? It's heavy and it's very robust. And the GameSir, oh my god, this is just super light. I don't know, it's almost laughable to me how light this is. If you can actually make this a little bit heavier, right, probably on par of this, like everyone will really rave on this, even, you know, more so like what they're doing right now, and they will really take this seriously as a super premium controller. All of the first party controller, Xbox, PlayStation, DualSense, even Razer, right, third party, are actually very hefty. They're very robust, they're very like premium feeling. GameSir, even my previous controller, they're very light, right? I think it's because of the materials that are being used, right? This is kind of like translucent plastic and some stuff inside. But again, for some of the consumer out there, lighter means cheaper to them. Although I know it's kind of cheaper, right? You know, but if you can find a way to make it a little bit heftier, right, heavier, while still being relatively inexpensive, gonna be amazing. So right from the bottom here, you do have those textured material. Love that. They're dotted, right? And this should help you in your grip, especially if you have like sweaty hands, right, in the middle of a 5-hour campaign or multiplayer. Your sweaty palm should actually have no problem with this one because it's super grippy, right? It's even like grippier than Xbox, right? Xbox is just like matte, so it can actually gonna get you know, even this one is like worse. It's gonna be shiny right after putting a couple of oils on that, right? But this one is like surprisingly grippy because of this, and it will also help you on kind of like feeling cool, right? Because you will have an adequate cooling there and not perspire so much on that part. Now that is on that part. Now on the back, of course, it has a similar grip material, so your fingers are actually pretty good. They're not gonna feel any discomfort on that grippy material, but on the actual palm, on the actual hand, on the actual grip, super grippy. I love that. It feels like it's a little bit smaller than my Xbox Series X controller here. Let me just check that out. It's tiny bit smaller, I say, right? Because on Xbox, when I grip it, you know, given my hand is like super big, thick fingers as well, but I can feel this right away for some reason, right? I can hold that comfortably with my finger. Quite big, right? The joysticks are just perfect on my thumb. The buttons are perfect and I can reach everything. I just absolutely love that. On GameSir, it's kind of the same, although I don't really feel anything here because there's also a button, right? So it's a little bit shorter. I'm feeling this a little bit. I think it's shorter. Is it shorter? Just a tiny bit, right? You would notice it's just a little bit shorter. So I can feel that a little bit, but it's not bad. And ooh, the joystick actually feels amazing. What? I don't even feel any resistance on that. I don't know if you can hear that. Hear this out. Listen to that. There's nothing, right? No resistance. This one is like super coarse. Right, you can hear that. It's not a good feeling when you rotate your joystick there. For the Gulikit Hall sensor, it's almost the same, but you can still feel the resistance there. On the Xbox, a lot of resistance is just due to the material. When you scrape it like this, you can definitely feel that. But on this one, for some reason, whatever they did here, super smooth. It's almost scaringly smooth. What is that? I think they put something on this end. Look at that. It's not directly contacting to this material. So it's inside like a glossy, there's like a glossy ring inside. And this is just causing like an extremely smooth experience. I love that. I love that so much. You don't really feel any resistance or dragging. I absolutely love that. But yeah, the feeling itself, so of course you can press down a little bit hard, a little bit tighter and press. I think it's pretty much the same, right? Probably being new. Xbox is a lot easier to press, a little bit tighter here, but yeah, feels good, feels good. For the controller, ooh, the directional pad is actually micro switches. So if you check it out, this is like button, and if you can hear that, this is the Xbox button. This one is like the rubber padding, right? Rubber button, like rubber membrane. But on this one, wow, super different. They kind of like they kind of like mouse switch. Check this out. They kind of feel like a very soft mouse switch, but that's good because whenever you press something, you have a direct feedback right away that you actually pressed it. Right? Listen to that. So compared to this one, this is kind of like button, right? Like a physical button. But in this one, they're micro switches. I love that. It's kind of like a mouse compared to this one that's just a mushy rubber feeling. I don't know how it'll translate on gaming, but I love the texture of this. If you notice, the directional button is very shiny and very smooth. So when you're playing like fighting games, you can actually scrape that no problem without any damage on your finger, right? It's almost like the same with the Gulikit here. But on this one, it has some textures and it's very pronounced. So it's a little bit harder to press or a little bit painful. And even Xbox is kind of like the same. But this one, I think it has the best implementation of the directional D-pad there. You do have this button on the top, mode button, where you can like put on different modes here, right? A different connection. You have your share button on the left side, and you do have the menu button, right? Kind of like the hamburger button on the Xbox as well. And then you have the screenshot, which is kind of like similar icon with Nintendo Switch. I think that's even the share button actually, right? On Xbox, that's share, as this is your like select and you know, record or something. Oh, I love the feeling of controller. They are also micro switches. Listen to that. They feel super different. Let me check the Xbox here. Xbox feels good, traditional way, very loud, very old school. The 8BitDo feels the same, almost same as Xbox. The Gulikit feels like PlayStation, but the button is rubber membrane like the rest. But this one is also micro switches. Wow, interesting. They're micro switches, same as this one. So very, very good feedback and very smooth. As a matter of fact, they're kind of like a combination of PlayStation and then Xbox on the bulge there. If you notice, on Xbox they're very you know, rounded off, right? So almost sharp already. Same as this, right? Very, very sharp. But on this one, it's kind of flat like a PlayStation, and it's really good in the hand. I love that. Right on the top, you have that, what is that, a chicken? Is that a bird or a chicken? But that's GameSir, kind of like Xbox Home, right? Or Steam Home. So you do have that as well, and how you can turn on the controller. From the back, you do have two paddles here, as you can see, R4 and L4. So right 4, right, left 4. You do have that model number. And this is the interesting part. Oh, I love that. So you do have the Hall sensor trigger here, as you can see. Almost no resistance, or it's kind of like, how can you describe that? Almost like the same as the Xbox. No resistance. Very, very good feeling and feedback when you press it. But the button is, interestingly, these are not micro switches, right? The shoulder buttons are actually buttons. They even feel like the rubber membrane that we used to have in other button. Like on this one, like on the Ultimate, they're just the same. But this one is very interesting because you have this adjustable lever here, which you can change it from like being like a Hall sensor to an actual trigger. Holy smokes. So when you switch this one, very, very easy to tap. As soon as you move it, it will already move all the way through. And it's gonna be super tight, almost no trouble, and it becomes like a micro switch. So if you're playing like certain games, right, like FPS or, you know, gunfire, anything like that, and you wanted it to be short for competitive reasons or whatever reasons you have that options. Or you can just put it back to Hall sensor if you want driving, to, you know, to kind of like fully experience the analog nature of it. Now, of course, you can also do this individually. So you can make this micro switches, for example, for your guns and all, and then you can keep this as Hall effect for whatever other reasons, like running or something, right? I think that's the most powerful feature of this, because on just toggling this out, you change the feeling of these switches entirely. And none of this controller actually have adaptable or adaptive triggers. You know, you got what, you know, you get what you pay for. If you're paying for this one, you're gonna get an analog one, and that's pretty much it. You don't have an option. So if you have a game that all of a sudden you need, or you will benefit more on like micro switches, you don't have an option if you're using other controllers. But if you're using this one, you can just simply like toggle this out, and bam, you have kind of like have a new controller already, and then you can already benefit of that micro switches. I think that's the most powerful feature of this one. This trigger, right? It's not even the TMR switches, but the trigger. The fact that you can just change that on the fly is actually game changing, and it's just amazing to see. So this is the dock. You're just gonna put it like so. Bam. Oh, actually it will produce some sound there, clicky sound. And wow, looks good. Let me go ahead and plug this in and use it for a couple of games. I'm gonna use it for a couple of hours, as a matter of fact, even a couple of days, and I will return to this one and tell you my overall feedback, right? Because this is amazing, and of course I will have to use it for different, games and whatnot. By the way, on the top, this your USB Type C there, and then your phone mount. I'm gonna show you the software as well, so you can see what you're gonna get in the software, and then I'm gonna use it in different games, racing, fighting, and single player games that I got, and I'm going to provide you my overall feedback. I'll be right back. So I've been using this for a couple of days now, and this control is amazing. Amazing, right? I turned off some of the lights here so I can show you the RGB. Looks amazing. So this RGB are kind of like glowing orange and red. They're kind of like breathing, right? And when the controller is low on battery, they will blink like super fast, right? Really annoying blinking that it's kind of like forces you to charge them already. But battery lasts really good, right? I was able to play for a very long time on this one, and it's not really getting low bat. And again, it's not even gonna be a problem because I just put it on stand there and it works. It charged right away. It even looks good actually on the charger, as you notice. I have some thoughts though. First thing is the clickiness of this. Listen to this. So I demoed that already. I'm on a game, by the way. This is Trails into Reverie, if you're wondering, my favorite game, right? Kind of like the finale of Trails of Cold Steel. But yeah, so look into this one. Listen to that, super clicky, right? So initially, when I connected it for the first time and I use it, I was annoyed in this clickiness because it's super clicky. D-pad and the face buttons are actually very clicky, both of them. So when I'm fighting, it's like you're using like a mechanical keyboard. So it's gonna be up to you if you're streaming and you're probably playing in front of a microphone and this is closer. They might actually get annoyed on those sound because it's super loud, right? Now, for me, after a couple of days of using this, as a matter of fact, I kind of loved it, right? It turned to be like a trademark. So I'm kind of like, like looking for that. I tried my 8BitDo and I'm not hearing that kind of like sounds, and it made me bored, right? Also, there's no RGB on that one. It made me look for this, come back to this, and use this more, right? So amazing, amazing gamepad. For the trigger, the Hall effect is really really good. I tried it on racing game like Forza, and it's super awesome. So let me see. These are the games that I have, right? So I tried it on several games that I've had here. Tried it on Forza, and it's amazing. It's amazing piece of controller. And as soon as you plug it in, it'll actually work right away, right? You don't even have to worry or install anything. It will actually work right away. Of course, there's a software that you can install it. I'm gonna show it to you as well. But you can just plug this in, plug and play, and no worries. You can actually use this right away. So let me just show you the software for it and all of the features that it got. All right, let's go ahead and check the software now. Just Google GameSir Cyclone 2 software. It's gonna pop up as the very first option here, GameSir Connect. So just click on that one, of course, from GameSir website itself. It's gonna show you this GameSir Connect and all the good stuff. So just click on download link here. It's just gonna go to Microsoft Store, or click it here to download it directly. Let me turn on my controller. All right, it now detected. So let's go ahead and make this full screen so you can have a good look. The software is well designed and it's super jump pack, right? Like what I mentioned in unboxing or on my review, we don't really need software for this because it works right away, right out of the box. As soon as you plug it in, it just works, right? You don't really need to do anything to make it working. I'm gaming already. I'm playing a lot of games already using this without even using the software. But just in case you want to adjust something, you also have a lot of options, which again, this is great for this controller, right? So you have 4 profile presets here that you can just like configure. So you can just swap. Remember, you do have mode on the bottom of this controller, right? So you can just switch
profile there. Essentially, that's the profile as well. All right, so from the left side, you do have the RGB control, which is pretty good. Lights control for the RGB. So we're currently on 1. Set it on 2, 3, and 4. Those are just presets. And as I change it, it changed on the middle, and it also changed on my actual controller here. It looks great. This is amazing. Now you can click on this forward, and it's just going to give you everything. You can actually adjust all of the lights individually, which is pretty nuts, right? Audio reactive mode. You can also sync it into your audio. Pick up to wake, sleep when inactive for whatever minutes you have. Right? Let me just put it like 5 minutes there. On the bottom left corner is your triggers connection. Now, as you can see, there are little expand buttons on the top where you can just make them full screen and go to their settings quickly, like what we did in the lights. But on the bottom left corner, you do have the triggers, adjustable dead zones, hair trigger mode. On the top, there's like LB and RB. You can actually change it there. As you can see, you can fully control it using the controller on this software, right? This is amazing. Report rate, you can lower down 250 hertz, 500 or 1000 is the maximum one. Takes again dead zone that we already seen earlier. You do have motion here for 6-axis as well, fully customizable. And finally, on the bottom right corner, you do have buttons. You can just swap buttons if you want. Want to configure everything on your own liking, you can do so. This software is amazing.
All right, but that's all for today, guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions, any comments, again, suggestions. I absolutely love this controller. So that's all for today, guys, though. So subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. I unbox and review stuff like this. So it might help in your purchase decision. Consider subscribing if you want to see more. But thanks so much for watching. This is the GameSir Cyclone 2 multi-platform wireless game controller. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay safe and see you on my next one. Peace.